Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. This video is going to be different, but I hope that you choose to stick around because I think there is a benefit to, well, to anyone who maybe feels that they wish they had some like-minded people to connect with in person. Yes, we form relationships and friendships and warm fuzzy feelings through YouTube and other social media avenues. But every so often, you just want to physically breathe the same air as somebody else who's interested in what you're interested in. You want to you want it to be a regular occurrence. You want it to be a place where you can give and get hugs. And trust me, this is this is coming from a self-declared introvert. I will lay a bit of groundwork here before I start. And then I'll show you some of this stuff I've piled here in front of me. Okay. Those of you who have been around a while know that I live on a farm in, I guess it's considered central Alberta. My nearest city, well, no, that's not quite right. There's a city closer than that, but Edmonton is the capital city. It's it's about an hour and a half away. So we could accurately say I live in the boondocks. So finding out about the existence of junk journals, and another disclaimer, let me say right off the bat, I dislike the term junk journals. You will hear me say it today because that's, I guess, the name of the group. But if you've heard my little spiel about this before, you know that I believe that regardless of the content that you put into the journal, whether it is in fact junk, packaging, junk mail, things that other people would have thrown away, or whether you are using top-notch designer papers, handmade creations, the love, the blood, sweat, and tears that go into creating that project deserve a title that is more appropriate, more emblematic than the connotation that goes with junk. That's just my opinion. So, one of my subscribers, Maureen, aka Mo, who I only knew through her comments on my videos, reached out to me a while ago to say that a group was forming in Edmonton and would I be interested in attending. And Maureen, I'm grateful to you for persevering with me. You know, the whole Facebook thing is a bit of a, a thing. Anyway, I have been able to attend two out of the 4 meetings that this group has had. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, big deal. I don't live in Alberta. I don't live in Canada. I don't live anywhere near enough to attend this group. But I think there are some lessons to be learned, some practices maybe to transfer and emulate. And also, I think it's worth remembering that things like this don't happen in isolation. A lot of us throughout the course of our lives say, wouldn't it be great if? Somebody really should. Boy, if only someone would. And fill in the blank. And there are definite benefits, I would go so far as to say even health benefits from belonging to certain groups. And I'll use one small analogy. Oh, and by the way, another thing I should clarify for those who don't already know is that I never drank the scrapbooking Kool-Aid. I never drank the Tim Holtz Kool-Aid. I'm just interested in doing my thing with what I have and the things that matter to me. And I don't know if that puts me in a disadvantage or an advantage in this whole junk journal business, because I just do what I want to do. I don't have to try to separate sides of my personality or whatever. So having said that, it also means that I really don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to scrapbooking groups, crop events, conferences, all of that stuff that goes with that kind of a particular hobby. So I've attended 2 out of 4 meetings that this baby group has started. And I mean that in the best possible way. This group is in its infancy. It's had 4 meetings, the first of which was in a pub and was sort of maybe we should do this kind of meeting, apparently. So I just realized my husband drove in with I'm going to close the door, so just hang on one second. If that door sounded like it belongs in a haunted house, I really should put some sewing machine oil or WD-40 or something on it. It does squeak. Anyway, so I'm not pretending to be the authority or the aficionado on these kind of gatherings. I think that gives me an advantage, though, in that I'm seeing with fresh journal maker eyes. And I don't care where good ideas come from. If they're good, they're good. They should be passed along and shared and, copied. Likewise with bad ideas. If something is a rotten idea that isn't working, well, let's hear about that too and never do it again. So there's that. Now, I was talking about the benefits. So in the beginning, especially if you don't know another living soul other than a YouTube personality who does make journals and who loves paper and who loves fabric and loves spending all their disposable income and more on crafting supplies, then sometimes you can feel isolated and you can feel like, there's something wrong with me. My friends don't do this. My friends don't believe this. My friends don't understand this. Neither does my family, blah, blah, blah. So there are feelings of isolation. So it's a good idea to be with our own people, with our own tribe. And as someone who is the mother to, that's an awkward sentence. When my son, who's now grown and has his own sons, was a boy, he ended up with an autoimmune condition. And if you know anything about those, no one really knows, even in this day and age, what causes it and what is going to be the ultimate solution, the fix. So I, as the mother, was in that situation of thinking, oh my goodness, we're the only people that this has ever happened to. And I remember the gratitude and the emotion that went into finding out about a support group. And, I know there are connotations with the word support group. A support group in Edmonton where we were able to find a place of information and understanding and empathy and whatever else a person needs when they think they're all alone and suffering alone. So there is that too. There is definitely a health benefit I'm an introvert. I've said that before. I've said it tonight. I can go for long stretches not seeing another human being, and it doesn't bother me. I feel good. That doesn't mean I don't love people, because I do. I love them individually and in small groups. I love meaningful interactions. And the health benefits of having human interaction are well documented. And I'm not, I don't need to retell that story. So, let me tell you a bit about this group. 2 women started it, apparently, and I really said that I wouldn't name names. And I'll tell you how things work. So, we meet in the back room, the classroom of a scrapbooking store, which is convenient for those people who want to shop. And people have the option of either paying an annual fee that gets them a whole bunch of perks, or paying, as I have been, $5 for the night. And of course, that's to be expected, that's just business. So, excuse me. There is what I consider to be a really full schedule. And let me just put some of this stuff aside. So the first time I went, we kind of got a handout with how the evening was going to go. Welcome and introductions, overview of the night. Okay, so it also says wishes granted. So, of course, I hadn't been there prior to, but people are able to say, I really wish that I wish I had, or something like that. So people are encouraged to express their wish, and if someone can grant that wish, it'll happen at the next meeting. So there's sort of a show and tell kind of time as well. Now, well, I'll say a bit more about that later. Hints and tips. So the opportunity to talk about, maybe new tools that a person has encountered, or any sales that are coming up, resources, websites, YouTube channels, and how-tos. So the night I was there, the first time, I don't remember what day that was, I was just a few bodies away, a few warm bodies away from my 1,000 subscriber threshold. So during my introduction, I mentioned that I had a YouTube channel, and I really hope you check it out, and if you choose to subscribe, blah blah blah. Did the spiel, and some of those people did subscribe and are watching the videos. Now I'm just trying to encourage them, ladies, to comment. And I know that commenting is sometimes a pain in the butt, but it honestly matters. And I'm not one of those people that just hearts a comment. I reply. So anyway, so then there was a project, and the first time it was making dangles. And then there's a swap. So this is what I got at the first swap. Now, I had been communicating with one of the founders. And basically what they do at a meeting is just pick 2 words, and that becomes the theme that people should be trying to center their swap items around. So for this particular one, the words were bohemian and cat. Like, can you get 2 more extremes? Friday night's meeting was vintage and flowers. So the idea is that you put together in some sort of a, well, I mean, there people use all kinds of things. Typically, now because the outcome of whose package you get is not open to tampering, is not, it's left to chance. It probably doesn't need to be something opaque. But, people use envelopes, people use bags. This is something obviously made out of a couple of 12 by 12s. I think there was a clear plastic bag there the other night. So I don't know that matters. And I'll get into how you know which is which, how you know which package is yours. Then we set the date and time for the next meeting. And if there are any wishes to express. So at that first meeting, I said, I'd really like some Braille paper. And that kind of got people thinking, and no one was able to grant that wish, but that's fine. And then there's a rummage table. And then if there's still a minute left, you can work on your own project. And some people brought a lot of stuff. I traveled quite light because I just didn't think there was going to be all kinds of time to do stuff. And frankly, to me, it's almost more about the camaraderie than, well, what did I produce? Okay, so I used the back of this paper, this agenda type thing, to make a few notes. Since then, I've decided that I'm going to use this little book. It sort of fits in my purse. And that way, everything related to this will be in one place. So there's that. Okay. So the swaps. One thing I've found, and of course, there is no judgment, there is no pressure to, it's not like, okay, you must put 20 items in there. Some packages are gigantic, some packages are less gigantic, and I think it's truly the luck of the draw. So I don't quite remember how it was the time before, but so one of the leaders, well, maybe I should use a couple of names. So Cherie made little envelopes like this, and inside was a piece of paper. So, she fanned out these little cards or these little pockets and said, pick one. So again, luck of the draw. And then she had pre-numbered the envelopes or whatever we had brought to swap. So, it's a relatively small group. There were only 9 of us total yesterday. And so some of us, including me, managed to pick our own numbers. So obviously there had to be some adjustments, some swapping. But anyway, so it's not like if you happen to have if she were to call out number 1, that doesn't mean that you go and you pick the biggest, fattest one or the one that looks most interesting to you. You pick the one that has that number. So again, totally kind of a blind process. So I guess somewhere along the way, maybe after the first or maybe the second meeting, someone made the suggestion that people should try to, if they can, use what they got in the swap package to create something to bring to the next meeting, which is a good idea because let's face it, we all get stuff and then just sit on it. So, and I don't know, this is, like I said, this was my first time. I don't know if this is sort of typical of what people give or not, but you can see 2 pieces of paper turned into a pouch. And honestly, I haven't had a moment's time to do anything about anything. So I had nothing to show this time. Okay, so there's some scrapbooking paper. There's some calendar pages. 8.5 by 11 paper. That's wrapping paper, I guess. So really can't go wrong with paper. This is out of, well, I guess a book. A doily, a trim of some sort. That was holding it closed. Some of these paper clips with the cotton lace on them. I should be putting this, but I'm going to have a problem here. Let me just put this stuff back in the envelope as I talk about it, or as I show it. I mean, everyone, you know, it's like Christmas. Everyone opens their packages right then and there. They ask who put it together, and then the gushing begins. I have trouble getting that in there, so it probably won't be as nice as Tina made it. Some little strips like this that are decorative, and obviously those can be used for page edging. More and more of those. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh, so this is where we're kind of getting into the cat part. So there's a cat there. This is really nice. I'm not a cat person, you know that. 2 cat napkins, although I have to say that one's kind of cute. Calendar page. These are like animal prints. This she must have stamped. These different cat poses. So it's on not exactly cardstock, but sort of fancier paper. So that's cool. Let me throw those in there. This ribbon was around the whole pouch. Okay. Now, here are some, what's this in here? I think all of this stuff was in this pouch. So here's a greeting card and an envelope, little bag with some paper flowers, a metal frame, beads. Oh, I've never even looked in here. I don't want to dump it all out, but, oh, and a wood piece, a little tassel. Hey, a trumpet. A metal, charm, I guess. Button. So these are all cool items that can be used to decorate something, of course. Okay, now this. Did she? I can't remember. She told me something about this. There are obviously some die cuts. So I'll add this to my... so this is probably... I would say this is probably the boho aspect of the... But, I mean, this could also be part of the... Oh, look at all these cute little gems. It's kind of nice when they're matte. And copper. It's like she knew I love copper. And some thread wrapped around a little roller type thing. Okay, so obviously lots and lots of stuff. Hopefully I can get this in quite easily without taking too much of time. So, and of course, some people who got packages, some people made some things to show. I find that, and again, as I said to somebody there yesterday, I said, you know, this isn't criticism, it's an observation. It seems like the evening is so action-packed that there really isn't time to cover all the ground that needs to be, or people want to cover. And people are generous. Like, so Linda, who has become a subscriber, I think she's kind of a girl after my own heart, to be honest. Great sense of humor. Had a few laughs with her last night. Oh. Okay, so here's more paper. So I would say this is the boho part also. Really nice. That's cool. Gustav Klimt. Anyway, I started to say that people make stuff. They make enough for the whole group and just pass it around. So there's always something coming your way that somebody has made, you know, and of course depends where in the, this got creased. A napkin, this is good. Some more like journaling cards, I would say, you know, pre-printed. A tag. So this, I would say that Tina probably made this. So that's cool. More journaling cards, more journaling cards. Anyway, so all of a sudden something comes down the way, you know, take a look at it and take one. I've never seen these kinds of things before. So it's almost like, I don't know if she die cut them. See, it would be a good question to ask. They feel like vellum. I like this chair. Oh, and look at this. I love that. Vellum. Little, you know, it's nice when things are kind of an unexpected color. So here's a little, honestly, it's like she knew. Whoops. Another die. Dream big. Cool. So as I go through some stuff here soon, I'll show you some of the things that were just given by people in the group. I think this stuff was all in the bag. So of course, it's wonderful to receive these things, and hopefully whatever a person has given is appreciated by whoever gets it. And that's just part of it. It's not, that doesn't include the rummage table. So I'll get into that in a moment. Oh, and here's this bag with some fibers. So some ribbon, some of that leafy, you know, trim. That's really cute. So those things are all lovely. So that was from Tina. Now, one of the things that just, I know. Okay, so this has the number 1 on it. So this would have been the random card that all of us picked, and I probably picked this because of the purple, that determined which envelope we were going to get, and that was last week. So I'll just stick that in there. Now, I wasn't that compliant because, you know, I don't need to be. But yesterday's project was making I put some goodies in here. Was making just a very simple pouch. Oh, yeah, that's stuff that never mind. Anyway, all I did was add some God, what is the word? Eyelet trim and some ribbon. I'm not a real inker, so I didn't bother bringing in ink or a dauber. But, oh, and someone passed these out. I think that was Cherie. These cute little spider webs. So, maybe I'll just put that in here, keep it safe. So I realize I'm bopping all over the place here, and I can't put that in without, I'll just put it there. Now, all of this obviously has to be repacked and put away. So, this is out of order, but so the rummage table. So people are encouraged to bring things that they have surplus of, things that they no longer want or need or use. And if you think it's just paper or whatever, we've got someone like Kathy who last time brought, little beautiful little storage boxes and that's sort of when you want to, elbow your way to the table and knock people over. But of course, we try not to. And I felt guilty anyway because I didn't bring anything. They don't, that doesn't stop you from taking things home. Anyway, I grabbed, and of course, this is as old as the hills. But I thought that, there's a place for it. This one is a wedding one, and this one is food photography. So, chocolate chips, nachos, peppermint, like licorice. So I think this could be fun to use. And I got a few other things as well. So this thing that I'm about to show you is kind of where I just unloaded my bag last time. And, haven't had a chance to do anything with anything. Now, I picked this up yesterday, and one of the ladies, it was the first time for her, she had enough of these little, these are close to my heart, little stamp sets. So she said, I brought 8, there's, enough for everyone, please take one. So, of course, by the time your turn comes, you pick whatever you like most of whatever you see. So that's the sort of thing that happens. Okay, so let me tell, that doesn't matter. Okay, so last time I picked this, you can imagine why, off the, that's going right to my blush thing. I picked this, I'm not even sure totally what it is, but don't those look kind of cute? Those little outfits, like paper doll outfits. So I don't know what that is exactly, but it almost, I don't know if it's a digital or something, I don't know. Someone had a bunch of these syringes. Now, we used to have syringes like this when we had cattle, because, sometimes you need a big dose. If it's a great big 2,000-pound bull, you're not going to, he may need 60 ml of something. So I took one, not entirely sure why. Cherie was running the class on making dangles and said, oh, and, help yourself to the wire. So took some wire. This was on the rummage table, so I took that. Not entirely sure what this is, but I took them because they look to me like beaded flowers. Now, of course, if a person was gluing them down, you trim the wire to get rid of that, that extensive or that excessive stem. I thought those were cool. Now this is apparently part of a bath mat or a tub mat. you know, like a non-skid thing that you put at the bottom of the bathtub, that Cherie cut into pieces, and she uses this. Now, okay, this woman has taught a lot of beading classes and apparently even taught them on cruise ships. So this is what she uses as a work surface. You know, you can line your beads up in those little ridges. They're not going to roll away, and you know, I think it's good, and it's certainly an affordable solution. And this is, you know, like Kathy was, oh, one of the rules, if the stuff you brought doesn't get taken, you have to take it back home. So I didn't know about stamp pads. I figured I have stamp pads. Do I need stamp pads? You know, like kind of one of those internal dialogue things. And so I asked her about these different brands because these were ones that she had brought. So she ripped out some paper and did some, you know, smearing of the pad. There's life left in all of these. So now I will add these to my stamp collection and, or ink pad collection, and, you know, have some new colors at my disposal. Now here are some teeny tiny little dies and some tiny stamps. I haven't had a chance to even try any of these things out. I think that, you know, I'm sure they're probably good. I think we've all probably seen this. It's called, quote, Sticker Stack. And they usually have a different theme. This one happens to be love. I've seen family and so on. So there's that. I don't know who brought these hot pink tickets, but I thought they were cool. These are some sort of beads, or I guess it's a necklace. So I will take this apart and add it to my bead collection. Now, this, I don't know, it's probably a digital that somebody printed. I picked up these magazines. I may have this one, but, you know, if you want to cut it up, oh my goodness. Do you remember jumpsuits? I remember jumpsuits. It's great until you need to go to the washroom, ladies. Remember that downside. And some tracing paper, dressmaker's tracing paper. So also in here are some brads that somebody had. Oh, and one of the gals, Corrine, is a jewelry making machine practically. So she made all these dangles and sent them around the room and said, you know, take one, take two. So this is where the cat came into it, and that cat. And this was probably more boho. So that was cool. These were some of the surplus beads that we were able to take, plus some extra pieces, oh, I can't think, head pins and so on, and a couple of stainless steel pins. So those things are all, like, they're small, but boy, when you need one, and nothing else will do. So there's that. I'll just pack this up and I'll show you what I got yesterday in the swap, because I really didn't have a chance to look very well, because of course I had to go to Canadian Tire and find a fuse or something or other for one of the trucks. Okay, so this package was put together by Jordan, and he likes K-pop and seems to be a very prolific journal maker. So cute file folder, and this ribbon was tied around it. Now there were all these little things. Oh, just a minute. Some of this came out of the rummage thing. Of course, I'm going to grab a piece of wrapping paper. I grabbed an H. These were stickers on the table. And this mauve paper. Oh, and I think this. Oh, and it looks like I didn't realize I had pink tickets from before. Somebody's clearly trying to get rid of them. And you know what? I think this paper was on the table as well. Even if I just use this for my wedding ceremonies, that would be good. Okay, so there's, let me put this in the basket or in that tray. Okay, so there were all, oh, and this, some kind of a label of some sort. Belgium, Le Soleil. Well, that soleil means sun. I don't know. We don't have to understand it to use it. That's how I feel about my microwave. Okay, so in the packet, in the file folder, were these, well, giant paper clip, nice. Paisley paper, love it. Oh, I didn't realize that there was a few sheets of that. Then this paper, and these are kind of, you know, my colors. So this, oh, this looks like it's part of a bigger sheet. So the theme was flowers and vintage. Here's a tab. Graphic 45. So flowers ripped out of a book, and I think, oh, this is a Lois Hole book. Peony, great. Yeah, Lois Hole books are great. I think I talked about her in the video not so long ago. Okay, so what have we here? Oh, that would be great in a steampunk. So this could be, you know, like oh my goodness, the words, where are the words tonight? Public domain kind of thing, because it says John Fowler Archive. So, you know, for people who are newer, maybe sometimes we don't talk about it now. And this is sort of that, I don't know if you can see. It's late and I'm using all kinds of lights here. So it's different cardstock that sort of has a mottled look to it, pink, blue, green. Anyway, there are many resources online that are free. Free sometimes means that you pay with your time. So, you know, if you buy digitals, you're paying with money. If you're looking for free resources, you're paying with your time. So you're going to pay either way. So these little pouches, I don't know, not sure if there's something in here or if I took it out. And so the little lesson yesterday, oh, that's nice. Let's move this so we can have something solid to look at. Oh, see, those are lovely. The little, you know, lesson was about using a die cutting machine and embossing folders. So there were people in the room who don't own a die cutting machine, and of course had questions and wondering about what does it cost and so on. So, you know, she very innocently asked the question. So, you know, because there were different machines there. Let me not waste any time trying to put that back in there. There were different machines there, including those little teeny tiny ones, and then there's that sort of that blue one that with the flowers on it, a limited edition thing. So I can't imagine, honestly, why anyone would want the little tiny one. But maybe. I guess if you go to crops, maybe that's more. I don't know. Anyway, these different floral images, these apparently are stickers, which are pretty darn cool. Look at that cute little landscape there. Maps, tulips. And these transparency, oh no, those are well, they can't be stickers, but I don't think they can be stickers, but they have, I see the line for that they, kind of pop out. These are cool. That's so sweet. So that was in a little pouch. So anyway, the woman says, so, between the machines and to get started, like, what does it cost? So, she was asking the woman who was doing the demo, and I, of course, smart aleck that I am, said $4,000. And of course, everyone bursts out laughing because, yeah, we know how the costs go up. Of course, that was a ridiculous number that I said. But we also know that sometimes people can't resist. Like, I listened to people talking about the new Tim Holtz ruler like it was the cure for cancer. Again, the cheapskate in me will not allow me to spend $25 on a ruler. I don't care how wonderful it is. Monopoly card. Oh, some of this stuff I picked off the table. These little charm type things. I guess because it has a slotted opening, probably intended to use with ribbon. I thought these were cool. These empty seed packets. This was part, I don't even think I opened that one. This was part of the swap also. So you can see people went to a lot of trouble. So in here are a bunch of tags and some faux wax seals. So that's cool. And then this is a vellum envelope with, okay, that's a sticker. So here's a ribbon. Again, I think it matches that other one. Cool. Some buttons. A little, that's like chipboard or something. A little wooden heart. I don't know what this is exactly. Maybe it's not chipboard, but it's certainly thicker. I don't know if it's been mounted. A whole bunch of washi tape, which is cool. Another little heart. Now, what are these? Maybe it was just, if that was stamped on there, that is pretty darn precise. Some stamps. Can I get it out? That is cool. See, sometimes it's hard to know if these are, I guess these are probably replica because they look a little too new. But that doesn't matter. Makes great ephemera anyway. I like all these little tickets. That is so cool. Thanks, Jordan. And then a bunch of stamps, all in that one colorway. So that is, and of course, the washi tape can be saved and reused. That concludes what I have to show. I would say that it's definitely nice to belong. So if some of the suggestions about how this Edmonton group have been set up, make sense to you, like the rummage table. Oh, I should say, people put as you arrive, you put your stuff on the table and it all gets covered up with a bed sheet. And only when when the bell rings or whatever, when the call is made, do people actually get to go and start picking. So I think the swap is a good idea. I think using, giving oneself the challenge of using what they got in a swap to create something to show it the next time is a good idea. I think having a quick and easy project or a little talk is good, because in this group of 9, there were 9 of us yesterday, there are people with different degrees of experience. So some people have never made a single journal. So it's, everybody's at a different point, and I think that's good in a sense, because the people with more experience can, maybe offer advice or answer questions or issue warnings. And the people who are newer and are asking those questions serve as a reminder to everyone else that, hey, it's not so long ago that I was a beginner. It's not so long ago that I didn't know that particular answer. It's not so long ago that I too was struggling with, the terminology and the equipment and all of that. So there was someone there yesterday. So like I said, some people have never used a die cutter or an embossing machine. Somebody's having trouble with their crocodile. No, I don't own a crocodile. I made the decision early on that I would invest in the Big Bite. So that's what I have. And so, people are just offering different advice. Oh, I don't think I showed you. A while back, I did that video on cutting foam, and it was Celeste that said, based on those, warped plates of yours, hate to tell you this, but you should be replacing them, because apparently she broke a machine with warped plates. So I was bringing some of that up and asking some questions about that yesterday. And I think that I bought these replacement plates. So Sizzix brand, 2 plates for $18, $19 or something at a scrapbooking store. Anyway, so what Natalie said yesterday, and she had it, let's see, I wrote it down, that scrapbook, what is it called? Scrapbook.com sells something they call a magic mat, and it's a self-healing mat, but it must be perfectly sized to fit on the deck of for instance, a Big Shot, which is what I have. And you can use that instead of one of these. So that might be worth looking into. Anyway, and Natalie must do a fair bit of die cutting, because one of the things that she said, she had a cutting mat. Now, mind you, she was using a a stamping up machine, whatever their machine is called. And I said, so what is the lifespan of your pads? And she said that, and she picks up this purple one, and it's all glitter, sparkly and whatever. She says, this is a miracle mat. It's something like 5 years old. And I'm thinking, holy cow, no one would complain if they got 5 years out of something. That seems, really well used. I mean, 5 years, if you never use it, is a different story, obviously. Anyway, her advice, and I'm going to try it when I replace, $18.99. When I replace these things, she said that on a brand new mat, she just moves the dye all over the plate so that I guess those marks, some of those initial marks and scratches and gouges and whatever, are evenly distributed over the entire surface rather than just all in the center. So I'm going to try on both sides of it also. I'm going to try that and see if it makes a difference. Just trying to think if she said anything else that should be noted at this point. Oh, apparently somebody called Jennifer McGuire has done a video on fixing, or I don't know, fixing, I suppose, warped plates, something that involves boiling water. What I intend to do with mine, and I'll probably do it on camera, is try using my heat gun, because, heat allows you to bend stuff. So I'm thinking if I applied heat to the convex side of it, let's see, does that make sense? I'd probably try both sides because, science wasn't that big. It wasn't such a strong suit for me. Anyway, so that is probably all I have to tell you about anything, other than I think if you are feeling the need for some camaraderie, some the ability to, share some stuff that you have in excess and maybe get some stuff that you are short of, by all means, consider starting a group. It seems that, using an existing space like a craft, like a scrapbooking store, classroom, makes a lot of sense because, number one, it's if there's a per head charge or whatever, it makes the owner inclined to want to provide the space. Plus, it also lets people shop before or after the class. And it also, the infrastructure is there. The tables and chairs are there. Some of the community or the communal use of equipment and supplies is already there. So it would certainly be cheaper than finding a church basement or a little hall or something, particularly when your numbers are small enough. Anyway, that is what I wanted to say about that. And I think that by deciding on the 2 words, like I don't know about this upcoming month, boat and beauty are the 2 prompt words for the swap. I think, if it wasn't such a busy time in my life, I'd find it a bit easier to start an envelope and just every time something kind of fits, throw it in there. Because I found that I didn't start that soon enough, and I was running around sort of like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to put a whole bunch of things together at the last moment. So, that's a time management thing. I have to say I was pretty pleased that Cherie, who got my envelope, was absolutely thrilled. So, you know, that kind of warms the cockles of my heart. Anyway, I'm going to stop there because I'm sure this has gone on too long for some of you. Again, just remember that there are benefits to doing this sort of thing. And the other thing, if you've never been an organizer or a leader or a Pied Piper, you know, where you're getting people to follow your lead, that's good practice too, you know. And sometimes, frankly, that's the only way to get things done, because if we wait for somebody else, sometimes it never happens. And I think particularly for people who maybe feel that that's an area of weakness for them, or maybe it's something, a skill set that they want to be able to put on a resume, or you know, help them advance in their career, then obviously that makes a lot of sense too, because those kinds of things matter. Okay, guys, I'm stopping there. We will see you in the next one. And I hope that whether you started or whether you just joined, I hope that you find a group of like-minded people that you can share your time, enthusiasm, supplies, and energy with. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.